did you forget to say? You had one job.
Well. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Krown's magical derp cave.
Hey, you're wearing a pink bear outfit. We're boolaws right now, baby. We got plenty to talk about. And welcome back, by the way. Hey, I forgot my fucking line. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Wish you a happy and healthy, I don't know, what day is it? Wednesday. Happy hump day. No, is it Thursday? Is it Wednesday or Thursday? Hold on, calendar? Calendar says it's Wednesday. Have a fucking happy hump day in your life. We got plenty to talk about. Ethereum taking out new all-time highs and continuation targets in mind. Bitcoin kind of fluttering a little bit sideways, but it does look like it actually will pull through here and go for that next couple $1,000 move that we have been looking for over the last few days, continuing with the bouncy action. However, it is still trouble ahead, at least in the way that I do look at it. And a big focus, of course, going to be on Ethereum, however, just because it is going to be leading the market, at least for what it's worth right now, on the greater, or should I say the higher market cap coins, the better known ones. I'm sure that there's some like DeFi bullshit that's just going absolutely moon mode right now. In fact, we can check that out in Polygon. Going absolutely fucking moon mode right now. In fact, 27% up. Dogecoin up 17%. But what the fuck? Jim Cramer told me to sell my Dogecoin. How could this be? How could this happen? It must be manipulation by those dirty Wall Street CNBC analysts, which makes no fucking sense. It's like they're the same entity to begin with. Anyways, we really don't see too much difference from this morning to today to right now. As far as the underlying market dynamics go, it's kind of perusing across the board. Bitcoin dominance head down a little bit from this morning to right now at a new low, actually at 49.2. And we do see that openers did head up about 50 to 100 million from this morning to right now as well, as Bitcoin more or less does put in a higher low on the short-term timeframes, indicating a little bit of continuation drive right here. Again, mostly led by Mr. Buterol. Anyways, with that said, I want to address a couple things here really quickly, because I saw a lot of questions in the comment section. Someone was asking about my settings on Caretaker's RSI. Actually, it probably is default, but if it's not, in the odd event that it is not, here's my settings right here for Caretaker RSI. Pretty damn stock standard as far as RSI and EMA and length go. And then the big one, however, would be the look back bars. I like a 26 read right here. However, I had good success with the 28 as well, but 26 is a little bit more sturdy, if you will, as far as the signals given. Anyways, I thought I would just talk about that very briefly for right here. But let's do a bit of a deep dive into Mr. Buterol for a second, because I actually completely missed this on this morning's video. So taking out the Trollinger bands over here, which, by the way, Caretaker just made a new predictive function for this, which actually allows you to input a potential closing price to then predict, or I guess essentially forecast, the next upper BB and the next lower BB, and also the resulting basis as well, which is essentially just a 20 simple right here. Anyways, with that said, we can actually test this out right here, right now, because we do have Mr. Buterol trending above the top side Trollinger bands. So what I want to do now is I want to see what price would be needed, or sorry, what price closing around here would do to the top side Trollinger band to come into tomorrow, so that we can kind of come up with a bit of a basing area for a continuation drive. I look at this as a breakout in progress, as we did denote a couple days ago. Now we're just kind of seeing fall through on top of this. And my rule is, it's not even my rule. I didn't like fucking figure this or discover this out myself. But the sort of idea is that as long as your asset is trending above or below the top side or the bottom side Trollinger band, obviously respectively in that direction, then I do look at that as essentially a trend in motion, likely to continue until it closes below, at which point, well, then you might have a reversal, or at the very least, a little bit of a short-term high in place. In this case right here, we can actually test this out right here, right now. Let's just assume that Mr. Buterol does close, I don't know, maybe right here, like 27.50. How about that? That would be the next sort of semi-fib target, I suppose, on this one, and we can put that in right there. Boom, and what do we got? So that would actually bring the top side Trollinger band up just below 2700. We can say essentially 2700 for all intents and purposes. So that would imply that any sort of move down, assuming that it does close up there or higher, would be a bit of a basing area and more or less a BTFD sort of opportunity, at least for a medium-term time frame trade, getting a little bit of a scalp in there, and probably another trend on top of this. I don't think that this one's ending just yet. I think that this is just pure continuation for what it's worth right now. We see a lot of good things going on here. We see daily SMI officially crossing back onto the upside, and that will be happening, or sorry, that will be technically, it's actually not even confirmed right now. It will confirm tonight, but it looks incredibly lucky, as you can see right here, because Caretaker made another fucking reverse function for the SMI. And what do we know? Well, what do we see right here? We do see that as long as it is closing above 25.95, which is a clean $100 or more than $100 above right now, then that will obviously come to fruition. It's even playing out a bit of a trend line or a bit of a regression from our last few lows right here, so good on that. And essentially just implying that we do have another continuation on top of this. That's going to be further supported by daily MACD having a fresh cross the upside alongside that current move on to new all-time highs last closure. And then on top of that, we do have DMI Plus very much dominant, ADX strengthening, both above the threshold. I really like all these things poised together. Now we can bring it over to other charts over here, and we can just further fulfill this with more Bula-ish measures. And what do we see as far as daily TSI goes? What do you fucking know? Having a fresh cross to the upside. This one precipitating the other few indicators that we looked at, as we did confirm that a couple days ago, it looks like. And also on top of that, we did identify hidden bullish divergence confirmed. This was on the 24th, 25th, fully confirmed on the 25th, that is. And we are just seeing follow through on top of this. So following up on all these signals, and this one actually being 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence right after consolidation, right around the bullish control zone. I always like that signal. And in this case right here with not Bitcoin, but Ethereum in pretty much price discovery mode, as it quite literally has at new all-time highs, I would be looking for this one to have a bit of a melt phase to the upside right now, as we did put in a nice base, especially between about 2100 and our rising lows at about 14 to 1500-ish region. Anyways, I'm still looking at, I guess this is going to be more or less a short-term target now because we're already fucking there, but this is a target that we've been having for the last, like, what seems like last 3, maybe 4 weeks at about 2800-ish region. Looks like we probably hit that today. And then later on down the road, I'd keep a keen eye on the 32 to 3300-ish region up here, right around the 3.618 Fibonacci extension, a big area for a lot of bought and now go to profit taking. So I'd be expecting a little bit of short-term kind of pullback from that region and then reassess after that. Obviously, you have to take one thing before the next and not really get too ahead of ourselves. But as far as this looks right now, I mean, this is just a straight fucking melt, and the weekly's taken off as well. And I really like this read on the weekly. This is what was kind of driving the bullish buy, especially for the last couple weeks for further continuation. We're finally actually getting that right now, taking out those last 2 rise and wicks, both on the top side and the bottom side. Very fucking powerful signature right there. And guess what? The weekly TSI about to give another bullish signal after also testing, hey, goddamn it, it's not in there anymore. Hey, how dare you? How dare you delete my drawings, my beautiful drawings, my beautiful lines, my magical not lines, my magical lines of fucking peace and prosperity. Anyways, yes, looking at this, very likely to curl up. It will officially cross to the upside with any sort of a closure above 2800 by end of week. That's looking, well, technically speaking, we actually are below that right now, but definitely within the sights, and if that condition is met, well, I'd be looking for this one to really turn into like the next like month or two of just, well, I wouldn't say straight up, but just a general upwards bias on the macro. We're looking at continuation here after a nice consolidation for, you know, what could be considered the last like 2.5 months, we'll say. So I would be looking for Ethereum to essentially run the market right now. As long as Ethereum is strong, I look at this as essentially rotations, with Bitcoin kind of leading first, now Ethereum taking the reins, and then we'll see who takes it after that. Maybe like Litecoin or XRP, or who the fuck knows at this point, because we do have the DeFi sector in here, so things have changed around a little bit. All jokes aside, looking at this right now, even the lower term timeframes are just getting going, at least from what I can see right here. We do see 4-hour RSI just maintaining in the bullish control zone. Again, very constructive read. I always like these reads like that, where it spends a little bit of time consolidating around one of the zones. Goddamn plates over there are getting going already. And actually I can see that, oh man, I got a lot of food later. I'm really excited about that. I fucking love meat, and that is not a homosexual reference. That is quite literally just a meat reference, because it's actually pretty fucking good. Anyways, I saw a lot of very interesting comments before we actually even started this video, with people saying, how does Krown wake up at 4 a.m. with all this energy? Well, I actually don't wake up at 4 a.m. I wake up at 5 a.m. and I do my videos typically around 8 or 9 a.m. I actually go for a walk first, typically do a little bit of a workout. I like to get the blood flowing, and I feel like it's just a good way to start the day. So I don't know where the fuck people got this idea where I'm waking up at 4 a.m. But if you do the math on like the time zones and everything, you can probably figure that one out yourself as well. Anyways, with that said, let's get into Bitcoin now. So I want to follow up on this morning's video. And remember, over the past few days, we did say that it was very, very likely to bounce off this 47 to 4800, or sorry, not 100, but $48,000 level. And now we're kind of seeing that follow through. Here's the next big thing, however. I do look at the 4-hour death cross as very unlikely to play for the reasons that we spoke about on this morning's video and also yesterday's live stream. However, if you are going to play this, or if you did play this, which again I don't think that this is the one to be playing. This is not the death cross you're looking for, you might say. Then of course, if you're holding on for fucking dear life, I'd be looking at that 55.5 level as like the point of fucking no return. Meaning risk needs to be managed off that, because I'd very likely be looking for another couple $1,000s see upside if that area gets taken out, even just trading above 28th high, which is 55,790 on a tick, or a closure above, whichever one happens first. Doesn't fucking matter, man. I'm looking at this as a higher low. Yes, I do understand that there is hidden bearish divergence actually confirmed right here, but this is one of the few times where I would look back at caretaker RSI and say, hey, I don't think that this one's going to play out. Or you could equally say that, hey, look, you know, we did have a little bit of a a move from that. But realistically, when we are talking about counter trend moves here, or counter to the macro direction, which the macro direction is still very much up, and again, I don't think that Bitcoin's topped over the long period of time. What I want to see on these lower term timeframes, if they're going to be playable as far as hidden divergences go, or regular divergences or anything, if it's contra to the macro direction, I want to see 3 drives ideally. That's going to make the hit rate a lot more efficacious. And in this case right here, we only have 2 drives and they're actually relatively far away. So I'm more inclined to look at this one as likely to go into the failure box. But technically speaking, we did test that first horizontal to the downside, and so far so good. So you could both be looking at that as a risk management point on that area for a trade on the other side in this case. And I wouldn't really be taking these myself, to be honest with you. I'm more or less looking at the higher term timeframes right now. I've mostly switched into like long-term moving average strategies, looking to basically become like a pseudo hodler in a way, which is kind of fun. Kind of like switching up my lifestyle a little bit as I try to enjoy a bull market. When the bear market comes back at some point, hopefully some point not so soon, I'll be happy to jump back in for the video game that is trading. But for right now, I've been playing Mordhau, which is an even better video game, which is fucking insane, man. These kids get so goddamn good at this shit. It's like, kid, you could be making money with these skills. It's like, first learn the money making skills, then go learn the gaming skills, or maybe fuck that and just become ninja. Anyways, yes. So with all of that in mind, let's go to our regular charts over here for Bitcoin. And same thing, I mean, just kind of test it back into this order block right here, or if you want to call this a liquid zone, I mean, you could kind of make it, well, it's actually more of a liquid zone in this case, to be fair. But, looking at this right here, I'm looking at this more or less as a higher low, not a lower high just yet. And by the way, it actually should be denoted that on caretaker RSI for spot price action, we actually don't see that same hidden bearish divergence over here. In fact, what we see is even more powerful on the other side. We see something on the same direction as the macro trend, which is hidden bullish divergence potentially forming on this next tick with any sort of a closure basically above the last closure, which was 54,869.5. Great number right there. And that would be implying a move very likely to the top side of this range, was going to be about 56,300 for a short-term move with potential continuation to the next major area. Now, again, I want to mark off this area one more time because I do think that it's very much worth stating that looking at this area right here, where's my chart that I've been using? There it is. Looking at this area right here between the 0.5 and the 618 on a bearish Fibonacci retracement, I do look at that as your proverbial bull trap area if and when Bitcoin does get there. Now, you could argue that we've already kind of tested the bottom side of that, and you could very well argue that. What do we have? 55,700-ish region. Sorry, whoa, no, even more than that. Actually, 55,900 about yesterday, and I'm saying about 56 for the bottom side of that, and as high as 58,000 bucks the upside on this blue box territory. But this whole area right here is a no trade zone for myself. And if there's any signals of weakness within this region, like anything resembling a lower high, especially on a 12-hour or daily, I will look at that as potentially the next tradable trending move within the daily here, looking for a move back down below 50,000 bucks if that were to be confirmed, and potentially even lower than that, somewhere around 44 to 45,000 bucks is where I'd personally be looking. But again, need to see one thing before the next, so I'm getting way ahead of myself right now. Ideally though, or sorry, not ideally, but what I'm looking for essentially again is just any sort of weakness within this region right here. If that starts to turn out to or starts to look like a lower high, if we get any sort of major divergence signals as well, that's gonna be a damn good indication that we very likely do retest at the very least as $48,000 low and then go from there. Mr. Plums is in the house. What's up, man? I see you, brother. Mr. Mark B with his plums slapping all around this bitch right now. Jesus Christ. Love it, man. Fucking love it. Anyways, is there anything else that I want to get into before we get into comments? Oh yes, let's go check out traditional marks really quickly here. All right, NASDAQ, what are we looking at? A little bit of a short-term pullback. Let's go to our regular charts over here, actually, because it's kind of hard to see with that one. Where's my damn fucking... There it is. Found you, you bastard. You try to hide, but you can't do that. A little bit of a short-term down here. I'm still long-term, or it's not even long-term. I'm still like medium-term, long-term bullish on this. Short-term, do we have a little bit of downside? Yeah, it's looking like so. Short-term move down to about 13,850 is where I'd be looking for, but very likely a bounce there. If not, I'd be looking somewhere down about around 13.8. It's still higher lows within this region. I don't even get medium-term bearish until we actually break below 13.7, this last low right here. If that were to happen, I'd look for a nice, nice move down. What would we be looking at that point? In this case, very unlikely this area right here, probably more around 13.3, 13.350-ish region. But for right now, still holding the highs rather well, and I certainly do not hate the weekly or at all, at least in this case. Now, we do obviously have earnings this week, so we do see a lot of, or I should say, we do see a lot of tech earnings this week, so this one can and will move, and also we do have a bit of a catalyst today as well. It's FOMC meeting later today. I believe it's 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm trying to think back to my traditional market days, because when I was in Chicago, I believe it was either 12 like noon, or obviously not fucking midnight. Jesus Christ. Krown wakes up at 4 a.m. Yeah, it's also midnight too. Time zone's fucked up, man. But for some reason I think it was 1. I remember it being 1 p.m. is usually FOMC time, Chicago time, so that'd be 2 p.m. Eastern time. But feel free to correct me on that run. I actually haven't looked at it right now, and because the time changes with daylight savings times and all this bullshit, it's kind of hard for me to follow, and I actually don't really even care all that much because I'll be asleep anyways, and I won't be trading short-term time frames, which is really what is going to which is really what I'd be looking at anyways. Sarf says, how to get Krown to respond to chat. Hee hee. Hello, sir. How are you? I'm right here. I'm a person, but also looking at some charts right now, man. Anyways, let's look at SPY futures as well. Same shit. I'm actually looking at this one as a little bit stronger. This one is the leader for right now, and for what it's worth, I don't really see anything bearish right here. Even on the short-term time frames, it looks like, I mean, maybe a short-term time frame move down to about 41.75, but it's really, I mean, this is like really low rent shit right here. Now, if this area does break below our last little local low, 41.75-ish region, I'd be looking for a move down to 41.50. But overall, this is, again, very short-term moves. Ultimately, daily, weekly are still bullish, and I'll still be looking for new all-time highs this week and probably coming in next week. I guess we already have new all-time highs. And look at that. We actually did hit one of our targets right here, just below 4,200-ish region. Not bad. Those fib bullshits working once again, but I don't think that things stop here. I still remain a long-term with a 4,300-ish target, long-term that is. Anyways, let's see. Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin for the time being, or actually no, let's keep an eye on Mr. Buterol. It's the more interesting one right now. Look at those girthy green dildos, baby. Shove them right down my goddamn face and just show me the way, Vitalics. Anyways, let's see if we can get on the comments right now. Mohammed Shaikh says Facebook is a huge earnings Q1 release today. Yes, so a lot of people are talking about this as well right now with Facebook, what is the fucking meme within this market right now? Okay. A lot of people think that Facebook is going to reveal on their Q1 earnings that they have invested in Bitcoin, and that is obviously speculation. There's no actual information that really suggests that, but to me, this is more like hoping and praying that is kind of going around as a meme within this market because Tesla did the same thing. Now, with that said, is there some legitimacy to that? I mean, yes, it could very well be. It could very well be, and you will certainly find out on that earnings report. But for right now, I do think that it's, first off, you shouldn't really care about that thing to begin with. Like, if you're kind of running off of like silly news pieces like that, I mean, it is in some pieces good, yes, but you don't want to like ride and die on one fucking company buying the, your precious asset, right? It's just not the way that, a good, healthy asset goes. But over time, I would imagine that these will naturally come about, and you probably won't have to fucking guess, for the day before earnings reports. It just seems a little bit silly to myself. I actually have a feeling that Facebook would be a little bit more vocal about it anyways. And I'm actually a little bit obtuse to that to begin with, just because Facebook has their own fucking shitcoin, or at least they're working on their own shitcoin. I know that they had Libra, which kind of failed, but I know that they're still trying with that as well. I think they put it under a different name, something, or something rather. But ultimately, I would imagine that they probably are going to be in competition, or going to be looking at it as maybe a bit of a threat. So maybe not so much in that vein. But hey, I'd be happy to eat my words on that. In fact, I'm not even saying that they're not going to invest in Bitcoin. I just think that people who are, pronouncing that this is a done deal, I mean, like, unless if you actually are in the inside and you fucking know, you don't. And I think that that's kind of like being grasping upon straws. Like, why not say that? Why not say the same thing for, I don't know, like Google? Why not say Google's going to reveal that they hold Bitcoin? I mean, it's, you got basically the same setup. They're going to have their earnings too, and they'll have to disclose that kind of shit. Anyways, okay, cool. Hey, what's up, Nimbo? Outcomes for the disappointment when it's not in the filings? Yeah, exactly. These sorts of things, like, I feel like they become way overblown than what they need to be. Like, look, it's great if Facebook does invest in Bitcoin, right? But at the end of the day, man, it's got to stand on its own merits. Okay, let's see. Can I find any more comments here? I don't. And also, if Facebook does reveal that they have Bitcoin, I don't think that means that Bitcoin moons either. Like some people are postulating here as well. Not because I think that it's a stupid idea, but mostly because look, if Facebook's bought, they've already fucking bought. It's like it's like now all they can do is sell. If anything, that's actually in some ways bearish, especially if they bought a shit ton of Bitcoin. But again, I would imagine that that's already played out. You don't have the fucking move after the news. The move is the move. It's already happened. It's already happened within the charts. And this is another reason why I do think that trading the news is it's a loser's game unless you're on the inside. Unless you're quite literally an insider, trading news or like news articles is just a loser's game because you're going to be the last person to know. When a news article gets published or one of these fucking memes gets into the market, you are very likely the last person to know if you're reading it on the internet or if you're just not getting it directly from source or you're not actually involved in that to begin with. Like you quite literally do not have insider information. Why is that? Because when you are reading the news, when you are getting that information, even though nowadays information is more equally disseminated than in prior years, but still you are going to be a very, very, very much down a long line of list of people who actually know. And the people who actually do know about the events, especially those insiders, they've already made their decisions. They already have let their positions essentially accumulate. In this case, obviously, it could be different, in the sense of selling, but we're essentially running off like a Facebook example right now. But again, they've already done their business, and the only way that you're going to see it at that time is within the charts. So that is the great equalizer. Is it the best way possible? I mean, obviously, if you had insider information and it wasn't illegal, then that would be the best way possible. But most people, like myself, are retailers now. I'm no longer a professional trader. I'm a retailer, just like everyone else. And realistically, I don't get any fucking inside information for these things. So I'd rather just trade the charts, as that is about the closest that I can get to that information, because you actually see the imprint of these institutions or whatever entity in what they're doing, because you can't fucking hide in the charts. It's gonna line up there no matter what. Even if it happens OTC, someone needs to fucking buy that from an exchange anyways. It has to be crossed somewhere else. That's why it's not going to be the best way, but it's the most reasonable way for, the most people, essentially. Anyways, let's see what we got going on over here. I see Ravi says, much love. How you doing, Mr. Ravi? Not a crypto, but your opinion is appreciated. Actually, I'm way more happy to be looking at stocks than I am crypto, to be honest with you. I have a VXRT May 55, or sorry, 5 call. Okay, let's see. VXRT. So expiring not this week, but next week, it sounds like. You're doing the weeklies, and let's see. Okay, and given the price action, how would you play it for max profits? Oh man, you are big in the money right now. So whenever you see something like this, oh wow. Hold on, I do want to check out the history. All right, so you're basically only holding this for like the next week. I do like this for right here, to be fair. Now, I don't know how many fucking calls you have on this one, but I do think that it's always appropriate to be taking profit on these sorts of positions when you hit major regions, like the 200 exponential average on the weekly, which is about $9, which you're kind of still around at right now. I do think that it's appropriate to always take at least half profits, or at least some profits. You always want to hold some. You always want to lock some in. Now you don't necessarily have to sell all of your fucking calls, but you could sell some stock against it if you want to lock some in, as this is looking very, very likely that it will close in the money, as you literally bought at the fucking low. You bought the 5 strikes. So that's right here. You pretty much bought the last local low, which was a higher low. Couldn't have done it better. Like literally couldn't have done it better if you're going to buy premium, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do think that you have more upside on this one coming into next week. So personally, if I was trading this, I would have taken about a quarter to a half profit off on that test of the 200 exponential average on the weekly, and I'd hold the next for an early push next week, somewhere around about 12 and a quarter, and I'd actually just sell the calls. I would not hold those till expiration, mostly because you're going to just, they're just going to be fucking premium by next week anyways. By like Wednesday, Thursday, especially, they're just going to be premium. So better to either do it with stock or just sell them outright if you can. But I do think that you have more upside here, to be fair. So I think it's a fair proposition to kind of I fucking hate holding options over the weekend, as they're just going to decay usually, but in this case, probably fine. And again, this does look like a breakout play right here, and seeing as they are expiring next week anyways, there's no sense of like holding it, or unless you want the fucking stock. at the end of the day too, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing actually does break above this little local high at about $11.5. I'd be looking for a big move actually at that point, long term, $22 and probably beyond. So that would be, perhaps that's something to consider if you want to hold the actual stock itself. But for myself, I like to just go to sleep without anything on my conscience in the weekend. So I'd rather just sell out of that and look for the next trade, because at the end of the day, man, if you found a trade like this, you pretty much did it about as picture perfect as you could. But weekly hidden bullish divergence, 1, 2, 3 drives, weekly TSI turning up at the same time. I like it, man. I like it a lot, actually. Anyways, Abbott Dynamics says, hey Krown bro, good to see you. Good to see you, Mr. Abbott bro. How you doing, brother? I'm doing all right, man. I got a decent night of sleep last night, so it's been better than the last couple days, and I ate a shit ton of fucking salmon earlier, so I'm ready to go for the next 1,000 miles, I think. I hope. Yes, I hope. There we go. In fact, I'm gonna take a little sippy sip of this water right here. Let me just scroll to the bottom of these comments here too, and let's get on with this. Mr. Faraz and Mr. Filson, there they are. There they fucking are, the OGs of OGs. Some good old friends. Genic, Thundering Evil, how you guys doing? No dishes right now, sir. Let's see. Okay, we got Satan Slayer. What's up, Satan Slayer? Bruh, sir. BCH 4-hour daily on Binance Prees. Okay, let's see what the old cash is doing over here. And did you say Binance? Is that right? I guess it doesn't really matter. They're all going to have about the same history. It hasn't been around for that long. Look, I might get a little bit of shit for this, but look, everything in the market cycle analysis trumps all, and I'd be bullish on this. The market's more or less bullish. I'd be bullish on this one too. It's time for altcoins kind of putting their rallies, and I suspect that Bcash is nothing different. But because this chart doesn't have the full history, we actually need to go to Coinbase, I think. Because I do want to see historical levels. Yeah, okay. Here we go. All right, so I'd actually be looking for a long-term move all the way up here, but you didn't even ask about that. You asked about a 4-hour daily. So to be honest, I do think it's going to head up to about 1800-ish region. Again, it doesn't even matter that this thing is pretty much worthless or barely even used. I mean, Dogecoin went absolutely moon mode. Fundamentals. If you thought that they matter, try to reason your way through that one. Market cycles seem to matter more to me. Anyways, looking at this right here for the 4-hour, 4 hours caught a bit more in a range. I'm actually a little bit less confident on the 4-hour than I am on the higher term timeframes. In this case, you could look at this as a bit of a continuation point on this last dildo right here, on the last high, 930 spot 51, perpetuating a move back up to about just over $1,000, 1017 brick squad. To the downside, I actually would be a buyer somewhere right around about 750, 760ish region. I'm not saying that it gets back down there, but if things were to turn down, but I'm not really leaning towards that, man. Daily, weekly are both very strong. Playing out hidden bullish evidence on the daily. Weekly is also, of course, crossing up on the TSI as well, man. I'm just generally bullish on this one, but I actually don't feel too confident about the short-term time frame. So at the 4-hour, I'd have to say a healthy amount of I don't know. I actually wouldn't be willing to call a direction on that one. Daily and weekly, though, yes, looking good there, and very likely does follow the rest of the market. Mr. Chimero says, what does Mr. Chimero say? He says, can you please look at Link USD on the 4-hour and daily? All right, seems like it's lagging behind alts. You know what? Actually, I've felt the same way. Yes, especially for one of the better actors over the years here. But I still give this one the benefit of the doubt, and it looks like giving it the benefit of the doubt over the last couple of days was exactly the right call as well. Not to fucking toot my own horn, but more importantly, to show the importance of market analysis. And what do we see right here? Same fucking thing. Hidden bullish divergence that was confirmed, I think, 2 days ago. We're seeing the follow through on top of that, back above all major moving averages. I want to see daily TSI cross up as well, but it's actually nowhere near right now. But ultimately, yes, I do think that this one does pop back up towards 39, and I believe that it will follow the rest of the market right now. But this one was kind of the leader, one of like the main leaders on the upside. It was actually Link, DeFi, and then Bitcoin were kind of all in like the first rotational up, and then now it's kind of like Ethereum and a lot of the 2017 shitcoins and whatnot. Getting the love right now, but this one looks like it's very likely going to pull through as well. I don't see anything that's bearish or concerned about this on the long term, but I don't know if you're concerned about that. Daily is looking like a short term move up to about 39 and some odd change, and realistically, I'd really be looking for continuation back onto the prior all time high and probably still a $50 target long term. If I'm looking at a 4-hour right here, which I believe you asked for, we could use this as a basing point right around 35.5, meaning that if Bitcoin Bitcoin, if Litecoin, no, Linkcoin, yeah, Linkcoin, there we go. If Linkcoin takes out this area right here, or just takes out the last 4-hour low, I would be looking for it to drop back down into its kind of accumulation zone right here, right around the 377, about $31.50, and be looking for a bounce off there. But I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think that this one generally continues and follows the rest of the market, again, based off that. And let's see what the 12-hour says as well. Yeah, 12-hour is fine. 12-hour does look a little more like it actually could come down in the short term, but again, I'd still be using this as a bit of a bias changer right there. Anyways, moving on, we got Abbott Dynamic again. What's up, man? Could you check out SSYS? This sounds like a stock. All right, SSYS, Stratasys. All right, NASDAQ just sounded out like fucking hooked on phonics. Okay, looks like a bottoming. RSI just broke out of the bearish control zone on the 12-hour with some divergence, and I made it. Actually, I don't really like the 12-hour for traditional markets, just because it doesn't really make sense with like the day-to-day structure, because it only trades 5 days a week and it only trades 6.5 hours per day. So it's not really the same meaning. You might as well just be looking at it daily anyways. I mean, it's going to be basically the same chart as you can see. And we do have 1, 2, 3 drive. No, sorry, we just got 1, 2 drives of bullish divergence off the low. Actually, daily Jewel is in a bullish posture as well, but that isn't necessarily a full-on signal. I do agree with you though. It does look like it's putting in a base right here. Could very easily come back down and tag around 21.5. But ultimately, I do like this at least for some short-term bottoming action. And I absolutely fucking hate the long-term chart though. Really nasty as far as the last couple years here, the last like 10 years. But could this be the turnaround right here? Potentially, yes. I think on the weekly, you do have a pretty obvious basing of price action as well. But hey, before I get into that, let's just talk about the hidden bullish divergence that's potential on the weekly right here. This is going to supersede the next thing I'm about to say. If that gets confirmed, which it will get confirmed with a closure above last week high, which is 23.78, that will imply targets very likely at the very least back up to the 21, and that's 26.67. But I'd be looking really for extension to about 29.30ish region, and come back to it after that. But for right now, I'd also be using last week's low as a bit of a continuation point to the downside. If that area does fail, this thing's gonna fucking get absolutely shellacked. But for now, I give it the benefit of the doubt, and I really want to see that weekly signal get confirmed before looking at the next trade. All right, cool. Oh damn, I just missed my thingy. There it is. Where are we? I found it. Dan Henderson, Mr. Henderson. How good to see you. I've been watching your channel. Nomad Capitalist. Krownzer. Much love from Texas. My fucking favorite state with the best sayings. It's play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Fucking classic, man. It no longer looks like Norway. Norway. Wait, what? Please take a look at MVIS. Again, 4-hour daily, please. All right, I got you. Let's see. Is this a minor? For some reason, I think it's a minor. Okay, MVIS MicroVision. No, it's not a minor. This is. What is this? What is it? Oh, damn! It did hit. Wow. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know if that was one of our targets from. Yeah, it does look like it was one of our targets. Hey, look at that. That TA bullshit. I guess he must have asked me about this a couple weeks ago. Every once in a while, man. Every once in a while, that TA bullshit actually fucking works, huh? Looking at this right here, what time frames did you ask about? Okay, 4-hour and daily. Let's go to the 4-hour first. I'm actually a little bit unsure of this one, to be honest with you right now. I do think that it very likely does bounce either from where it's at right now, or if it wants to fulfill the gap fully, right around about 18.25, could have a short-term downside move right there. Ultimately, though, I do like this chart as far as the long-term goes. This one is just continuation as far as the history shows. I mean, let's see what the weekly looks like, see if we can get anything more. Okay, that's where it actually gets picked up. Okay, I see. Oh, damn, and the weekly is actually a massive sell-off right there, too. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, that actually kind of changes my opinion on it, at least for the short term. I do think that it will come back down and fulfill this region, and then you best hope for a bounce down there. But then again, I'm looking at pre-market. Pre-market's actually trading up right now. You know what, man? I'm gonna have to say that I am going to supersede what I just said earlier on the short-term time frames. I think that you look at this as a gap fill, and this one does pop back up from here. And that also means that we can use last 4-hour low as a continuation point to the downside, implying targets to about 1625-ish region, maybe a little bit lower than that. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt. I do like this move overall, and I'm curious how the weekly and monthly are shaping up, because the weekly momentum oscillators are fine, even though this does look like one massive shooting star dildo. I know that that does imply a lot of selling right there. Yes, of course. But realistically, I need to see another week of price action before I actually call a full-on confirmed reversal on this one. For right now, I'm just not going to be bearish on something that's above all major moving averages when they all have the lower periods trading above higher periods. And we do see that the weekly RSI is kind of like bouncing off the neutral zone right now, off the same trend line that's held up the last few lows, by the way, as well, coming in from this little regression right there. And we can see that weekly TSI is, nah, it's nowhere near, it's actually nowhere near crossing back on the upside. So you know what, I'm gonna hold off on this one. If I had to call it, I would say up, but I give it a chance, and I really want to see this one next week to kind of like judge the long term. So unfortunately, I apologize, but I understand that that's not very helpful, but I do have to be as transparent as possible with these sorts of things, because otherwise, well, what's the fucking point, man, if I'm just gonna start talking out of my bunghole right now. Tokyo Channel says, hey Krown, how's it going? I'm all right, man. Looking for some fucking sushi, man. And how are you doing, sir? Could you look at LSK USD? Okay, Lisk my disc. LSK USD. All right. I think Bittrex is going to be the one to go to, just because it's probably going to have a lot more history on this. I remember this was like a 2016, 2017 shitcoin, really popular in 2017. I definitely recall that. This one kind of similar to Ethereum, popping above a multi-year accumulation region between about November 2018 and more recently in February 2021. So a little bit of a laggard on this last rally too. If we go over here to the daily, you know, overall, I do like it, at least for now. I do think it's kind of just stair-stepped its way up. Now, typically speaking, I don't like diagonals, but the market kind of has had a bit of a history of doing this in the more recent times. And so I would look at any sort of a test down around this region as a bit of a, what's called an opportunity. Ultimately, though, again, market analysis trumps all right now. I do think that this one does have some upside from here. I can't really trust moving averages on this one, to be fair, but what are momentum also are saying right now? Okay, so we did have bearish divergence. Can we argue that that's played out? Yeah, I think we can argue that that's played out. There has been a pretty fucking massive move right there. Hey, we even hit my 21 target right there too. Oh wow, 55.5% down. Very deceptive in the way that the chart looks at this one. But yeah, man, I do think that it does get another try to the upside. But this one's certainly a laggard in this market. Certainly not going to be like the darling of the market. It's kind of similar to Mona as we looked at it yesterday and a couple days prior. It is very likely to follow what the general market is doing, that is, but not as strong as the rest of the market. These ones are certainly relatively weak, so I wouldn't expect them to have as great of a day in the sun as some of the, as some of these more obscure like DeFi coins, which have, they don't have like this massive history of fucking selling off in the same way that this thing does, as it goes down all the way from basically 40 bucks all the way down to half a dollar. Wait, what? Wait, what's up? You said something about $40 all the way down to less than half a dollar. We're wrecked as fuck, man. Don't think this one pulled back enough over here. Jesus, man. Nasty. Real fucking nasty. But yeah, overall, I do think that this one will fall to the upside. It's just, I don't think that this is the one to be holding, to be honest with you. Okay. No worries. Japan is as Western as oh really? It's as a Western tourist, a great place. You like castles? I fucking love castles and historical temples, man. I want to buy a castle and some fresh real sushi. Ooh, baby, I can't wait, baby. Hey, what's up, Flooring guy? It's been a long time, man. Good to see you still around in OG from 2018. Fucking nice, man. Thanks for all you do. Enjoy your analysis from the beginning. God bless. Amen. Bless you, sir, and really appreciate that. Just a very kind message, and I have to express gratitude, my friend. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Ibby says Cardano. Oh man, Cardano. Yeah, people have been talking about Cardano recently. By the way, hold on. Before we actually move on from Lisk, just because I do want to see the real chart. Okay, so this is on log scale right now. This is what the real chart looks like on linear scale. I don't like it long term. I do think it's going to try to the upside, and I do think that it probably will take out, I don't know, maybe like a $10 high over time. But man, I do not like it. Someone says Bitcoin's falling hard. Sir, Bitcoin is trading within like a $2,000, $3,000 range, and it just moved $200. I'm not sure if I agree with you. I'm not sure if got to get off the fucking hourly, man. Got to get off the 5 minute. Look, you can trade those time frames, yes, but you're gonna get whipped around by what is just a range move right here, man. All it is just a bit of a range, nothing too crazy. Okay, so Ibis wants to look at Cardano USD. Okay, we can certainly do that. We haven't heard Cardano called out, or at least not as much as it has been in the past. I like this consolidation at a high level right here. Actually, really like it. In fact, we do have an obvious range going on as well, and I do look at this one. Oh, we already have it charted out. Nice. Okay, sweet. Let's look at our momentum also just for a second. Okay, what I'd be looking for here to get that next sort of momentous move is daily TSI crossing to the upside right here. Probably not going to happen today, as that is going to imply a price above 132.5. It looks like it's it's around the corner. It's also in line with this horizontal right here, kind of marking off the last couple highs from these regions. So I do like that as a continuation point, meaning that if I wouldn't say if it even trades above this, but especially if it closed above this region right here, I'd be looking for both momentum play and a breakout play. Very likely to test the prior all-time high. Probably does, have a short-term pullback from that right around about 1.5, but ultimately I'd be looking for continuation of new all-time highs. And because this one actually does have a very well-documented range, we can make some extensions on this one and drive some upwards targets, which an area of interest to about 169 to the upside would be a sort of short-term target, and then long-term target's going to be actually into the $2 region. But I feel a little bit crazy talking about that right now. But yeah, one big thing before the next. Ultimately, I do think that it does fall through, and it does look and act relatively okay here. Weekly's fighting back as well. I mean, this is, Jesus Christ, man, powerful, kind of flagging out at a high level, so got to respect that as well. Yeah, continuation, the name of the game, and we might even have actually. Let's see. Hold on. Let's look at these lows right here. Yeah, we will actually have hidden bullish divergence if this thing closes above last week open, which is basically 128, right below 128. We actually will have a decent drive, 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence coming from here, here, and here. It's actually not showing it right now because we technically don't have that condition being met. It will happen in like literally 1/10 of a cent to the upside. But yeah, judging from the last few lows, it would certainly have multiple drives of hidden bullish divergence, and this one's actually starting all the way back from here. January 25th, when price action was literally down at 35 cents. So we're talking about some pretty significant divergence. So that one, I suppose I couldn't, or I suppose I shouldn't be balking at like a $2 target long term, because that would actually be rather reasonable looking at it right now. Jesus Christ, man, all of these altcoins kind of fighting off their distribution from the last couple of weeks, and Bitcoin not getting the same sort of love just yet. So maybe Bitcoin does fight through here. Again, market analysis does trump all, but one thing before the next, of course. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got, I just missed it. My bad. Hold on. Let's see. Can I find it? I found it. Luke T. There he is. Bcash USD 1 days, please, sir. We already looked at that one, but we can look at the daily specifically if you so desire. We'll go to Coinbase for this one. And on the daily, yes, I remember this one. Daily range, short term, 932 to be specific, all the way down to about 790 or just basically 800. I'd be looking at $800 or anywhere below there, between there and about 750 as a bit of an opportunity zone. And I would just generally be having a bullish bias on this one right now. Hidden bullish divergence off that last low, back into or looking like it wants to go back in the bullish control zone, but not quite there just yet. I do think that short term you're probably gonna be seeing a target towards about $1,000 plus, and then does run for the high of this current rally. Overall, I do like it, at least for continuation from this current basin of price action. And weekly does look like it's kind of setting up here too, especially with weekly RSI consolidating once again around that bullish control zone. I really like these sort of setups right here, and this one kind of freshly breaking above alongside the exponentials getting in there too. So I do favor that one, and I would lean on the upside there, more or less. All right, cool. All right, sweet. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, this is great. Reading some of these comments. This is fucking good, baby. This is real good. Lord Stufaka Lord Stufaka says, sir, can you check out LKE? Oh, this is a real stock. Okay, LKE on ASX. All right. Lake Resources. All right. So this sounds interesting. Sounds like a green stock, maybe. Let's see. Let's go to. Did you give a time frame? You did not give a time frame. You said long term. Okay, so long term on stocks means weekly, monthly. Weekly on this one, I don't. What the fuck? This thing goes literally months without trading, man. I gotta say, I always have to express massive skepticism whenever I see shit like this. Incredibly liquid. Again, we're looking at like months where it does not trade, and then out of nowhere it gets a little bit of love in like the last couple of years. So I'm always skeptical whenever I see something like that. It does kind of have the etchings of a pump and dump, perhaps, or just a little bit of less legitimacy here. But if I had to look at it right now, I do look at the 21 on the weekly as a bit of a basing point, about 26.5 cents. If it did come back down around there, I'd be looking for a bounce. But I don't really have a long-term analysis to give you on this, because I don't really trust something like this, to be honest with you. If we go to a monthly, the monthly is still long-term bullish. We do see change of behavior volume over here. Yes, it is still continuation. Yes, so you do have to be looking at long-term upside. I don't have any continuation targets, so I don't have anything like that. And again, I would massively express skepticism with something like this. But hey, probably spends a little more time going sideways within this region. If it comes back down to about 26.5 cents, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. But if it starts to break below there, this thing's probably gonna enter the next dump phase, to be honest with you. But for now, I give it the benefit of the doubt. It does have an okay structure. I'm just really not into the past the past 10 or so years. Do not look like something I'd want to touch. But yeah, man, if it can hold this level for a little bit longer, I'd be looking for it to pop back up around that prior high at about 47.5 cents. What is up with these fucking Australian shitcoin stocks being always in penny form? Yeah, monthly still okay as well. A little bit of bearish divergence potentially forming, but a little too early to call this one as well. I'd still put the odds on the upside there. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Sorry, man. I feel like that was not that much helpful, just because I'm more or less talking about how much I don't want to trade this thing. But I guess I don't have to trade it. You have to trade it, I suppose. But goddamn, man. This is not financial advice on this one. I would not touch this one with a fucking 12-foot pole. All right, let's go over here. Mohammed Sheikh says, can you take a look at Woo BTC? Okay, Woo BTC. Woo BTC. Woo trade Bitcoin on Huobi. Fucking nice. All right, on 4-hour daily, this is my top alt since early March. It is a trading platform for institutional traders. How does that work? Do you promise it's only institutional traders? I guess I don't know the specifics on something like this, so I'll just analyze it from whatever perspective that you want. Okay, 4-hour daily, 4 hours just continuation right here, marking off the higher low structure, looking good to me. Daily. Same thing. It actually looks very similar to Mr. Buterol, consolidating at a high level. This one also in price discovery as well. And I'd like to take a second to kind of dial this one in a little bit. So this name, Woo BTC, which what the fuck does that even mean? I don't know. Has only been around for what? Since October. So we got October, November, December. Plus 4, 7 months, right? So definitely less than a year, a little bit more than half a year. Now, this obviously is going to be massively different than a lot of these 2017 shitcoins. To kind of reference back to Tokyo Channel, who's talking about LSK and symbol MONA. These are coins that have been around since 2016, 2017, and they have all this upside pressure, all this upside resistance because, well, they survived the bear market kind of by going down about 98%. But at the end of the day, that does make it a lot difficult in the current format of the market to go through these massive mega rallies. Like you can see some like this, which does not have that prior upside resistance because it just hasn't existed around those times, can pretty much enter into blue sky breakout territory. And that's what I'd be looking for right here. I do think that this one's actually still relatively strong. Daily tells a story. Daily RSI, really fucking good read on this one. I'd even say that this last drive right here was hidden bullish divergence, or actually no, technically it was not, but regardless of the fact, still a very strong read right there. Daily TSI freshly crossing up as of yesterday closure. So yes, I'd be favoring the upside on this one. We can come up with a few targets to the upside here, to be fair. Let's see what we got. I'm going to take some more conservative targets, in fact. And in this case, I'd keep a keen eye on about 2,200 Satoshis long term and come back to it a little bit later. 4 hour though, you did ask about a 4 hour. I don't know about a 4 hour. 4 actually has, well, does a 4 have a little bit of short-term downside? Yeah, it could very easily come back down to 1660, 1650-ish region, but long-term, I still like it for continuation. Anyways, Shamel says, hey, Krown, I've been taking profits too early recently, even when my TA bullshit seems to be okay. I think it's a psychological thing. Any words of wisdom? Okay, so you're taking profits too early. So, okay, so you're taking profits too early, and you're wondering if it's a psychological thing. Well, I'd say first, before going into something like very deep topic like that, let's just go over the fucking simple shit. When you are taking these trades, and you say that your TA is working, okay, when you're taking these trades, obviously it is, you're like taking profit too early. That's a good problem to have. That's like, where you want to graduate to, and obviously then you shape it up from there. So first off, congratulations, because that's like the hard part, is like first becoming fucking profitable. Then you want to just, even up the odds tighten up the screws on both ends so that you actually increase those percentages over time. Anyways, my point is that when you are taking these trades in your journal, assuming that you have one, where are you targeting? Are you taking profit at the target that you specify? If so, no, I disagree with you. That's a good trade. You fucking keep that. If you are taking profit at these if you're not taking profits at the targets that you yourself identified, then obviously no, you are, you're obviously getting in your own way. And then third, if you don't even have a fucking target when you're taking these trades, then well, there's your goddamn problem. You have to have an idea when you first take the trade. You always at the goddamn bare minimum, for the love of motherfucking God, need a entry point, an exit point, and a risk management point at the very goddamn base. And for someone who's serious about this, they're going to have a lot more conditions than that. But at the very fucking least, you need that in order to derive a successful plan over time. So that's the question that I pose back to you, and then you can kind of work from there. But let's say you're doing it perfectly. Like here would be the best scenario that I can actually speak to a little bit more, because the other ones are obvious, like with what you do. But let's say in the scenario where you actually are setting out your targets and you're taking profit at your targets, and price action continues in the same direction, and you're like, fuck, I just missed out on like another whatever. Well, first off, I'd want to know how much are you missing it by? Because it could be that, maybe you're using like a ranging strategy when you should be using a more long-term strategy as things are trending more or less. Or maybe it could be that, well, I don't even want to go in that direction just yet, because we don't know what the actual issue is. So it's better to simplify first. Subtractive methods are the way, my friend. So I'll hopefully be able to hopefully I'll be able to search out your comment if you follow up on that one. Okay, cool. Lisk is gonna moon once the rebrand happens. Oh my god, yeah, I remember that. What was it called before? Was it like symbol A something rather? I forget, man. I remember that shit though. Yeah, when people would rebrand their fucking coins and it'd be like, guys, we have amazing fundamentals coming into this market. You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna change our emblem. Yeah, that's right. Our fucking icon's gonna be different. Instead of stupid ass Litecoin chicken, we're gonna have a silver L. That's the market, baby. That's fucking cryptocurrency land. Gotta love it, man. Gotta fucking love it. All right, cool. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. All right, let's see. What else do we have? We got Go Lucky. Hi, bro. You called my doggy coin you called my doggy shit coin. I'm offended. Good word. Have a drink. All right, let's see. So apparently I called something which I'm not even aware of right now, to be honest. We got dope coin. Nope, doggy coin over here. Let's see, Dogecoin on Binance. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up. I don't think that this one's done just yet. So I remember yesterday we did say that this one was likely to pop back up, retest the prior all-time high, and probably make a slightly new all-time high. I still think 50 cents is where this one probably find its high long term, but that's more of a personal opinion rather than like real TA. In this case right here, I stick with what I've been saying. Yep, I'd still be looking for continuation of the upside. Still think it gets another shot above 40 cents, but I do think that like a major high is very, 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 very close on this one. Very, very close on this one, but probably one more drive. I'm kind of in the same vein as like most of this market. I think the market makes like one more high, and then probably goes for a little bit of a pullback, we'll call it. Okay, cool. I see Nimbo. I see who else do I see? See Elsa. What the fuck? Super Googly says, "Hi, Krown. Are you going to play Returnal on PlayStation?" I don't know. I haven't even heard of that game, man. The next game that I'm going to get is going to be Resident Evil 8, and scare the ever loving shit out of myself. Number 7 like really actually disturbed me for a little while, especially like the first few hours. Holy fuck, that was quite the scene with the family there. But I actually don't know that name, and I actually prefer to do PC gaming over here over PlayStation or other consoles. Okay, and you're asking about ONTBTC. This is another 2017 shitcoin, if I recall properly. Ontology. Yeah, Ontology, that's right. Don't know what the hell this thing is, but it's on the blockchain, so pump it up. Wow, do we have another lower high in a series of lower highs within the whole fucking lifetime of lower highs? We do! You know what you've won? A trip to shitcoin fucking jail, baby, because you win the worst chart of the day. That's right, baby. We have quite literally the worst chart of the day. Hey, why no work, motherfucker? Oh, you bastard. Oh my God. My stream deck broke. All right, well, it's not broken, but motherfucker, man. Oh, man. Wait. It's working! God damn it! Moment ruined! Fuck! God damn it, man! I want a do-over! Piece of shit. Yeah, man, looks to me like it's going to continue to do what it's always done, which is go down. Looks bullish, bro. Yeah, pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. I don't know, man. Maybe as a short-term move back up, but it appears to me that we have yet again another macro high. Oh, that's a really bullish monthly. That's really good. That's really healthy. Some of that bullish selling going on. Sorry, man. It was a very nice message, and I hope that I didn't piss you off too much. Understand, whenever I'm saying shit like this, I'm purely talking about this shitcoin, baby. I'm not talking about you as a person. You're probably a great person. I imagine so. That is a fucking chart. Awful. Just god awful, man. Wow. Better luck just throwing your fucking money down a toilet and then lighting it on fire and then moving out. Because it's never coming back. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything else? No, I don't think so. All right, here we go. Mr. Generous Josh is back in the fucking house. Drink up that Bula juice. Got to keep the raspy lesbian voice in good shape, my man. And actually, perfect timing right here too, man. I can feel the raspiness coming on, but we'll take a quick little sippy sip and be done with it. The sweet sounds, the sweet sounds going down my throat. All right, let's see. Why is my phone blowing up right now? What is going on here? What is this? What is this nonsense? All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, all good. Okay, let's see what else we got. Hey, what's up, Ollie? The legend Ollie. He is back, sir. Did you buy some AMD? I fucking. As far as their stock goes, hey, I actually wouldn't mind to buy some of their stocks, but as far as their products go, fuck no. Go fuck yourself, AMD. Wow, look at that. Nice up open to start the day. Not bad at all. Can I afford me steak? I can afford a steak, but unfortunately, I'm banned from the steakhouse. So I actually can't afford a steak. Imagine that, being banned from the only fucking steakhouse in Helsinki. Jesus, man. I'm still bullish on it, man. I'm still looking for this one to pop back up to 95 plus. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing actually make a run towards like 110 or something. Weekly TSI right around the bullish buy. So usually going to be looking for a turnaround right there, which it looks like it's already curling. And weekly RSI precipitating that move with hidden bullish evidence confirmed multiple weeks ago, now getting back above the exponential. I really like those reads in tandem with each other, especially on a very, very low HVP. This thing's poised to move here. I'd be looking for a breakout over the next like month or so. Short term, does it have a range going on? Yeah, it has a little bit of a short term range going on. Wouldn't mind to move back down to like 81, 82 region, but long term, I'm still looking for upside, man. This is a pretty damn good chart. One of the better charts that we've seen today. Yeah, very, very powerful chart. Holy fook. Very, very powerful, in fact. Even wow, the monthly is going to have hidden bullish evidence. Jesus, man. 1, 2, 3 drives of it too. In this case, actually, let's see what sort of targets we can derive from this. Areas of interest 110. Long term is going to be like 135. Nice one. That is a monthly, by the way, so it's not happening until like today. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while, sir. Thane Vicarian says, Krown, you look like a deranged rabbi who lost his flock and took up trading. That's actually not that's actually true. That's a pretty good theory, man. I've heard all kinds of theories. It's so interesting to sometimes just like read fucking Twitter threads about about like people's fucking theories about me. It's very strange to do, like looking from the outside in. It's one of those things that, like, man, until you have that experience, you're like, what the fuck is this, man? This is bizarre. This is very strange. But you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that as a somewhat of a compliment, man. My flock is gone, but I got my trading over here. I've actually even traded trading for actually like video games. You know, I used to say in like 2017, 2018, 2019, when the market turns to bullish, I'm going to quit trading and become a video gamer. I've actually almost kind of done that, in fact, which I feel pretty damn good about. It's good. Still keeping the saw sharp on trading, however, just because, you know, trading took me a fucking long time to learn. Like, I really struggled with it at first, and then I had trials and tribulations later in my career as well. But once I actually tightened things up, it's like one of those things. Like once you've like fucking fought for something for so long, you can't really let it go after that. So I'll probably end up like dying on my goddamn trading desk, which else we'll have to deal with. So then she'll just upload my consciousness into a robot, and all good from there. Because I watched it on Black Sheep. What is that show called? Black Mirror. Yeah, that's right. And you can do that nowadays. It happened with Miley Cyrus. Generous Josh says, could he not solve that leaving profits on the table by scaling in stop losses consistently on a low time frame? That is one way to do it, but the problem is, Josh, is that we don't know what his initial strategy was. So in order to really shape up a conversation like that, we need to know some specifics with it. So if we can know about like what strategy you're looking at, obviously what time frame as well, and then like if you actually have those sort of more fucking executable things that I spoke about that you typically find in a trade journal, if those are all set, then yes, we can take another step from there. But I would agree with you, Josh, but that would make sense in the context of like a long-term trading strategy, which I know you do, but he might not be. In fact, if he's taking profits too early, to me that would signal that he's probably on low-term timeframes and probably doing more like ranging sort of momentum strategies, not being cognizant of the greater ranges or the greater trend and where those sort of pivots do indeed lie. So in that case, without any more specifics on it, I fear going more deep into it, because if I take it the wrong direction, then it's going to be completely fucking irrelevant and not helpful to him at all. And what you're saying is 100% true, 100% true, but it's just we don't know the specifics of a situation, so it's hard to say. Let's see. Lord Stufika says, thanks, Krown. LTR ASX long term. Okay, LTR. Let's see. What is this? LTR, a long-term relationship. No, Liontown Resources Limited. All right. Let's see. Down, sir. Breaking down, baby. Rolling over right now. The rolling hills of distribution have started, and they say, go fuck yourself. Weekly, daily, both down. Now, would I be looking for a bounce here first? Probably yes. Let's look at the long term though. Long term looks good. Actually, long term looks pretty good. I have no major issue with this long term. I would be looking for a short term bounce here, and then I do think that bounce does spill over. I'd be looking for a greater move down wherever the 10 simple comes in. Currently trading at about 30 cents. What is it? Just under 30 cents. It looks like. So I do think ultimately I think that you spend a few months playing out some sideways and down, but long term I like it actually. Long term pretty damn good. You asked about long term? Okay, cool. So we are on the same page here. Yeah, weekly, daily, probably try a little bit of a bounce here. Bounce can get back up to 41, 42 region. That doesn't really do anything for me. Ultimately though, I'd be looking for a run somewhere down around wherever the monthly 10 is or the daily 200 simple and 200 exponential average, which are pretty damn close to each other right now. So I do think it's going to take its time, and it's kind of had its current day in the sun, and it's time to go down and consolidate a bit. Let's see what momentum oscillators look like. Yeah, monthly. This is monthly, by the way. This is monthly RSI getting up there, which you don't see all that often. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Yep, we have 1, 2, 3 drives, a bearish divergence, nasty, and yeah, I think that this one is getting ready for a little bit of a downturn there. All right, cool. There he is, Mr. Katsukichian. Hello, sir. Hello, good sir. There he is, Mr. Jeff. Reduce the wrath with the finest Finnish water. Exactly, man. I've been drinking Finnish water and tea, and it actually makes me feel like a boomer. But also, my throat is not as bad, and Elsa has to deal with that too. So that is her problem, not mine. All right. Let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, there we are. All right, Abadynamics is Krown. Sushi Bitcoin on the daily. There's your do-over. All right, sweet. Here we go. I want a do-over. I want a fucking do-over. Well, this chart isn't too bad, man. At least for the information that we do have. I actually think that it's put in a base right here, man. It probably does rally up. I think that this one's actually poised. 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bullish divergence off the low, plus a jewel buy signal. Sir, This is actually quite the setup right here, if anything. Plus daily TSI also turning up as well. I like this. I like this one, man. I think it's actually just put in a major low here at about 21, 25 region. Probably pops back up short term to about 29, and more medium long term probably back up to the high side of this region over here. I like it. I think it's actually just set in a bit of a higher low most likely. Now, could I be wrong on that one? Yes, but there's a very obvious basing region for this, and that's simply put right at your 200 exponential average, which is basically the last few lows on this. So as long as it's above there, I do like it. I do think that you set in a base, and I do think that it rallies. It kind of grinds this area out and rallies from there over time. Okay, cool. Real half baked 06. Is that your is that the year that you were born? 06. Man, you can't be smoking weed when you're only 14. The fuck, man. You need to wait until you're at least like 18, because I don't know, but 18 is the magical number where the halo is removed from your head, and you can now you can appreciate mature things. Can you tell me how much of a piece of shit I am and analyze anal allies Kin USD on daily? Well, I'm not going to tell you that you're a piece of shit, but you are a bad speller. Sorry, man, couldn't help myself there. Let's see. Okay, well, let's hold judgment. I don't know. Maybe this is like funding fucking terrorism. Then maybe you are an asshole. No. I think it's okay, at least for the information that we have. Again, it's a fucking altcoin. It doesn't have too much history. Do I trust technical analysis on something like this? Not really. But if I did have to call direction right now, I see a couple of interesting things going on here. We see daily TSI potentially looking for a cross up, daily RSI is more or less just kind of ranging here. I'd be looking for a range more or less. This is not going to be helpful at all. I'll be looking for a range between about 31,300 and our current low structure. I do think, again, market analysis does trump individual analysis. This is completely unhelpful right here, admittedly. Let's go down to a lower term time frame and see if we can come up with a range right now. Okay, yeah, it is fighting its way up. So I do have a short-term bullish bias on this one. Probably does make another move back up towards 28,300-ish region. But let's see, what did you exactly want to look at? Because I might be missing it. Okay, you said daily. Yeah, problem is the daily really doesn't have much information here. Maybe there's got to be something else, man. There's got to be something. Maybe Hit BTC is going to have it. Okay, yeah, here we go. We got a lot more history, and in fact, no, I don't think that you're a piece of shit, man. This one's fine. It's fine. And this one actually is rather interesting just because going back to our earlier... Oh, wait, no. This one's only been around since 2019. But fair enough. At least it has a good history for the last... for the history that it does have. A bit of a training range right here. But ultimately, I do think that this one is going to poise back up towards whatever the prior high was over here. What the fuck is that number? There's too many decimals there, man. I can't read that, and I have dyslexia already, so that's a no-go for me. Weekly's based around the 21. I'm not going to be bearish on something like this in its current posturing. Do we have any sort of momentum also to be aware of right now? No, not really. What about the 4 hour from this vein? Even this one looks a little bit different than FTX. 4 hour shows the range rather well, but again, it's not very helpful, unfortunately. I fear when you ask, like, this is what people hate about technical analysis. Like, I'm going to give you the fucking obvious thing. You got a fucking trading range. Yes. Okay. Here's your high. Here's your low, right? Here's your breakout above this region right here. Yes, I do favor the upside just based off of, well, mostly based off of moving averages in this case. I do like that 21 and 55 cross right there. And that's going to imply moves back up towards whatever the fuck this number is. What the hell? How many decimals even are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look, man, you need to get rid of a couple more of those decimals. You're gonna fat finger that shit just because. Yeah, if I had to call direction right here, I would call some upside. More or less sideways and up is the name of the game in this one. Sideways and up. I don't really have a reason to be bearish on this one, and I wouldn't call you an asshole for this one. It's not. I mean, that's ugly as fuck, but it's an altcoin. These things move crazy, and this is the time to be looking at altcoins. To be fair, if there is ever a time. Quinsman says, "Hey sir, hello sir. XMR the privacy coin XMR Monero. Yes, I'm familiar with this one. Actually, one of the what was always thought of one of the more legitimate coins. In fact, but you don't really hear it spoken about anymore. But let's see, where is it at? 426. Do we have new all-time highs? No, we do not have new all-time highs, but we're getting there. We're getting there. This one's finally falling with the rest of the market. I do like the setup right here. I would be generally bullish on this, but let's see what he's asked for." Okay, near all-time high, but the Bitcoin pairing is less clear to me. Could you have? Oh, you want to look at the Bitcoin pairing? Yeah. So as always, in a bullish market, you do want to understand: are you making more by holding altcoin, or would you have made more if you just hold Bitcoin? If you look at the US dollar pairing, it's going to be hard to decipher that. But if you look at the Bitcoin pairing, you can directly decipher that. In fact. So we'll do that. All right, let's see how does this one look different. Yeah, I don't like this one long term. I do think that it has a little bit more upside here. Could very easily come in line with these these lower highs at around 86, 70ish region. But I agree with you. Long term, is this one to be in right now? Probably not. No, I do think that it has another short term, or maybe not even short term, but medium term move to the upside. Here's the thing though, and here's what I would say would make me phenomenally bullish on this thing. I would get phenomenally fucking bullish on this thing if it took out the last high in October 2020. That is above what is this? 0.111. I'd be looking for big moves. I mean, we'd be talking about what would it be like? Fucking what's your last high after that? Yeah, we're talking about like a 33.5% move on top of that if that condition were to be met. But right now, man, I don't really have a reason to believe that this is a chain behavior just yet. Yeah, I'm not even seeing any like any major obvious signals here as well. The only thing that's obvious to me is HVP getting into the red zone right here, but realistically, I don't think that this one's going to reverse, to be honest with you. Like for a long-term actual uptrend on the weekly, we don't have anything that resembles a high low yet. We obviously don't have a higher high as well. So I'm inclined to say that this one probably does top out somewhere between the 89 exponential moving average and also this trend line kind of governing the last lower highs over the last like 4 or 5 years. No, actually only over the last like 3 years here, but fair enough, man. You know, and very revealing when you go into the data and compare versus Bitcoin, as it does get revealed that, well, Bitcoin's just probably easier right now. But at least for the short and medium term, I strongly believe that we'll have another upside move. But I do think that it's a bit muted there. All right, cool. Josh is back again with VET. Josh had a 1-day retirement and now he's back in the fucking game. This is great. All right, VET USD, Binance daily lower high, confirming next day or two. Okay, let's check it out. RSI, MACD, DMI down, and BA on. All right, let's check it out. Okay. I'm not so certain I would agree with you just yet. In fact, I wouldn't agree with you just yet. In fact, I look at this as an accumulation at a high level for right now. I always go with the former trend until proven otherwise. So, you know, that could be a difference, you know, an opinion here, obviously. Like, it seems like you're kind of jumping the gun a little bit, in my opinion. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Not necessarily going to be bearish off that, to be fair. Here's where I'd get bearish. I get bearish below this last low at about 16.75 cents right here. If that level gets taken out, then yeah, you got a downtrend, and obviously this would confirm as a lower high as well. But I don't think that that's what you're looking at just yet, and I think that is not relevant to what we're looking at right here. Those targets were already met, so I mean, do we even want to put another one on top of this? It's not really relevant for right now, but to be fair, we could maybe set this one up for later, to be fair, but something like that. But again, you know, we are well and far away from that right now. Let's see what the weekly looks like here too. Curious, or maybe even like the 2-day and 3-day. 2-day inconclusive. Let's see what the 2-day actually could put in some hidden bullish divergence as well between the last local low right here and here, if it does confirm, and that will confirm with any sort of a closure above the last 2-day closure, which is about 17 or so cents. When do we close this one? Tonight? Yeah, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. 3-day, I'm not bearish off this either. If this thing came back down to 17 cents, I'd look at that as an opportunity on first pass. I'd have to respectfully disagree with you, man. I think that this one might be setting up for another drive on for, you know, at first glance here. Weekly has an easy trade on it too. Just using the higher low of the last weekly dodo are going to be pretty damn good continuation points. Taking out the low would imply a move down at the very least to like 9.5 cents. Taking out the high, obviously going to imply new all-time highs. Now, to be fair, Josh, I do think that VET USD is very, 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 very close to a major high. And it is possible that we actually already have seen the major high right there. There are several things that are obviously turning down, but for myself, I need to see a confirmed reversal first before I actually get on that side. That's why I put market cycle and trend, especially on the macro timeframes, before everything else when looking at things like this, because it keeps you in those trades for a longer period of time. And you know, as you know, the saying goes, a trend. A trend is more likely to continue until it doesn't, basically, which is not helpful. But what that essentially implies, as far as trading goes, is, hey, until we have a confirmed reversal, it's not time to time to, you know, jump the gun. So fair enough. Yeah, I'd actually have to respectfully disagree with you on this one, man. I don't know. Could the short-term timeframes? Maybe they're on your side a little bit more. Fair enough. We'll definitely come back to this one over the next few days. But that would be my thought process right there. Okay, cool. Let's see. Josh is saying on HVP. I mean, HVP on the daily is what? I mean, it is redlining right here. That's kind of just telling us that, one, this was going to be a major high. Yes, and it certainly was. I mean, we did play out a pretty nice downside move from there. I mean, that was about a 52% downside move. You could definitely say that that's already played out, right? Because whenever I see something like this, I'm looking for like a major high or a major low. And seeing as that was then resolved by hidden bullish evidence on the other side, I'm more inclined to be looking at this as essentially, you know, potentially a basing area long term, at least for another drive, and then come back to it after that. Again, my main condition is, though, Josh, is that if this takes out the, 16.5 cent region, 16.75 cent region, 17 cents, we'll just say, if it, if it takes out that area to the downside, yeah, there's your reversal. Time to get bearish. Time to get the fuck out, and we can start to look for, that move down that we looked at on the weekly, and then probably continue probably continue a lot over time, probably back down below 10 cents. I don't think this thing does hold up over time, but for now, looking at the monthly, man, I don't hate it as it is. Admittedly, we still got 3 days left? Yeah, 3 days left in the trading month, including today. So fair enough on that one. All right, Ty Webb says ARKG daily weekly. Okay, ARKG. Oh, nice. We got a real stock. Hey, here we go on ARKA. I never fucking heard of this one before. ARKG. I never traded this one. That's for sure. Okay, what is it doing right now? It looks like it's going through a little bit of accumulation. Bears are going to tell you that this is a descending triangle, but I don't think that it is any longer. If it was a descending triangle, you would have expected the lower highs to continue through this area right here. And in fact, that's exactly what we do not have. Now, admittedly, this is a range, obviously, but I would be having a more or less bullish bias on this range, similar for the same reasons of what we just looked at on VET, right? Actually, in fact, very similar charts as this one is at new all-time highs as well, consolidated at a high level. I look at that. First and foremost, I look at that as relatively good. And we also do have hidden bullish evidence off the last few lows, 1, 2, 3 drives right there. I'm always going to like that. So yes, the range is rather big, and you do have a little bit of a medium-term time frame resistance right here, right around about $95. But technically speaking, I'd be looking for a sideways, sideways within this region, and then very likely another try to the upside. I do like this one actually. Daily, I just missed it right there. Daily actually has a jewel buy signal. It looks like. Yep. And a really, really good one there too. Not perfect, as I want to see it come from a lower area, but that would be good enough for me, especially on low HVP over here. I'd be looking for that move probably over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. But yeah, bullish bias on this one. Looking okay. All right, Abbott Dynamics says, let's try this again. Wing BTC on daily. Oh, Abbott. All right, Wing BTC. What could this be on Binance? What are you, sir? What the fuck have you done in my life? Holy shit. Actually, not that. Look, we've seen some shitty charts today, man. I'm expecting some real bad. This is pretty bad. Don't get me wrong, but not as bad as some of those 98 to 99% down charts. In fact, let's see where this one's at right now. Okay, is that your ICO? Oh my God, is that your ICO dump? Does this thing actually trade up there? Let's see. I'm just curious to see. Wing BTC, what the fuck is this one from? Looks like it doesn't really even trade anywhere either. I don't know if I have the patience to scroll all the way back. Yeah, I don't have the patience to scroll all the way back. It's a little bit too far. But looking at the weekly, I actually think if you want like an actual analysis on it, I actually do think that it just hit another macro high right here. It's going to trade down again. Nasty, man. Fucking nasty. But not even this one gets shitcoin chart of the day. We've seen much worse than this, sir. But it's all good, man. It's all good. There's always tomorrow, and my voice is already wrecked, so it's probably a good thing too. But yeah, man, down 85%. Pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad. But not the worst chart of the day just yet. Okay, let's see. Where did I leave off? Okay, we got that one. We got this. Lord Stuficus says, Legend Mate. Last one, VDGR Daily Weekly. Okay, VDGR. Okay, this is Growth ETF. What the fuck is this thing? All right, let's check it out. Okay, I see what this is. It's some sort of a massive ETF. All right, fair enough. It is a little bit of a sloppy chart, and this can very easily throw you off with how like weird these dildos look over here. Realistically, though, it is a range after all, and it is a range on a consolidation on a new high drive. Actually, right below your prior time highs. Now, usually when I see these consolidations right below your prior time high, that's usually going to be considered a good thing. You can see if you just let's put this on a line chart. This is going to be way better. That makes sense. Fucking finally, man. Jesus Christ, that was an eyesore. Let's take away this here too. That's your real chart, right? Weekly RSI tells a story on this one. Hidden bullish divergence. In fact, this one even should have a third drive on. Well, no, it did make a lower low right there, to be fair. But overall, I do favor the upside. I do think that it will pop back up, test somewhere around $58, and probably even gun for the prior all-time high. Weekly TSI in a more bullish posturing, but I really want to see that cross the upside over the next couple weeks to really get that next breakout play, that next momentous play. We should actually do something like this now that we actually have the real ranges. But the weekly RSI is kind of what I'm judging this one off of. We'll see what the daily looks like as well. Yeah, short-term implying some upside here too. I'd be looking for another run at about 57.5. Peter Federox says he doesn't say anything, but he just leaves a message. Nope, there it is. Mimi USD, 1 hour and 4 hour. All right, there's literally a coin called Mimi USD. All right. Well, it is the crypto market, so let's just get fucking crazy, huh? Do we go to OKX for this thing? Oh, this is actually kind of nice looking at a line chart for once, but actually, it's funny. I never even used dildos, like candles, I should say, candlesticks, until I got into cryptocurrency. I actually used to always use bars, like high-low closed bars like this. Imagine looking at this all fucking day. It's really, really nice. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to the line chart for a second here. All right, now we'll go back to candles. All right, let's see. What do we have? It is kind of in free fall mode right now. I do not like this chart overall. Whoops, let's get this one on right here. There we go. Okay, do I need this one anymore? Oh, I don't need this one anymore. We can just get rid of it. Goodbye. I've had enough of you. Haha. All right, it's freeing up some space right there. I don't like it for the information that we do have, but it's admittedly not a lot of information. Now, here's the thing. Again, market cycle does trump all as far as analysis goes. And what are most things doing? They're putting in bases after these short-term sell-offs alongside Bitcoin sell-off from like 60 to 48,000 bucks over the last couple weeks. So, if I had to call it right now, again, mostly based off of market analysis, I'd be looking for a bounce here, a bit of a range between about, what is this, 2,000 bucks where we're at right now at about 15. Oh my God, that is way too fucking big. It's too big. It's too big, man. Look, I don't trust TIA on something like this, man. I got to shoot you straight. I don't trust TIA on something like this. If I did have call direction, I would be looking for a bounce here. We do have a bit of a dual continuation buy signal, that is. We had a pretty damn good one here, but when was that? The 23rd. That was right after the low right here. Not bad. I'd be looking for this one to trade a little bit sideways and then try some upside if anything, but I do not feel confident at this. And honestly, I should not even get an opinion on this because I don't feel very compelled by it. So I do apologize for that. I know it's annoying, but do have to be as transparent as possible with this one, because this one's kind of out there in no man's land right now. Okay, all right. Matic Gandhi says, does Matic USD on daily have more upside? Can it break $1 in long term? Well, let's check it out. Can it break $1 in long term? Can it? I mean, anything's possible, right? Is it likely to happen? That's the real question. This is looking pretty good here, man. Yes, there's nothing telling me that this run is done just yet. In fact, it's just getting going. Well, I wouldn't say just getting going, but I do think it's got a few more continuation drives in this one. Hey, look at this. That fucking TA bullshit working once again. Looks like we even hit our 3.618 target, selling off from there. What the fuck is this? God damn it. Nonsense. I've had enough of this. It's actually hilarious how some people actually get fucking mad at that. It's I think it says a lot. I think it says a lot about those people. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You okay? Or like, you all right? You okay? Anyways, looking at this right here, yeah, man. A little bit of sideways on the short-term timeframes, I'd imagine. It is going to create a range between about the 21 and the current high of this short-term consolidation, basically right around here. Well, that is a massive range. Let's tighten this up. Let's make this a short-term range. We do something more like this. We'll go down to a 2 hour as well. And yeah, we can actually cut the accumulation region right here. This is probably even a little more accurate as well, to be fair. Any sort of a closure above this region, I'd look for another move towards the prior high. That's about 83 cents. Do I think that it could get to $1? Yes, I do think it could get to $1. Yeah, I don't really have any real reason to think that this run is stopping right here. In fact, I think it's got another drive, and then probably caution times. But at least for now, there's nothing bearish about this weekly at all. I'm looking for continuation here, and I'd be happy to be bullish coming into very likely next week. The monthly is looking phenomenal as well, with about 2.5 days left to go. All right, cool. Let's see, sirs. Let's see. All right. Justin Tafoya says, morning, Krown. Hello, sir. Hope all is well. All is, it's good, man. It's good to go. It's good to go today. How about that? How about that, man? All right. MicroStrategy, or MSTR. I always get it confused with Monster and then Microsoft. No, this is MS. God damn it. I did Microsoft. God damn. MSTR. There we go. MicroStrategy. I think I already got it. Motherfucker. Today's not my day. Here we go. It's already on my list. Okay, MicroStrategy. And what time frame did you want? Okay, range between 600 and 800, but is the party over, sir? No, I don't think so. No, it's still holding the range. I don't see any break of structure here. In fact, I'd be looking for a short-term upside, probably back up to about 770 plus. I think that this one's getting reaccumulated. I think it's very obvious that this one's getting reaccumulated. There's no reason to be bearish on this one as long as it's above the weekly 21 long term. I like the way that the weekly RSI is shaping up right now. We're not going to see any momentum oscillators fire off on that one, but this one's probably going to be trading sideways for a while. But I would be looking for a short-term, medium-term upside. Again, back up somewhere around 770 to $800, and then obviously your breakout area is above about $800, and then you can try to move back to the prior high and beyond. But for right now, I'll just be looking for sideways range with short-term, medium-term up. Hey, what's up, Junior Riggs? There he is, our lovely man. BWN Nasty says ARR. Is this the pirate coin? Someone I called the pirate coin a shit coin yesterday. And someone left a comment, how dare you call the pirate coin a shit coin? And you know what? I've looked into it, and I don't stand by my statements anymore. It's not a shit coin. It's a very bad coin. It's a very silly coin, but as far as charts go, it ain't a bad chart, man. It ain't a bad chart at all, in fact, versus US dollar, that is. I mean, it's hard to hate a chart that just goes fucking straight up, but you know, at some point it will come down. In this one right now, I'd be looking for a range, essentially. Probably does short term down to about $6.50, and then trade sideways for a bit. But long term, do I think the run is over? No, I don't think that the run is over. I think that this one goes through a short term and medium term sideways and slightly down, and then tries again to the upside. Maybe just one more drive to the upside, but I do think this one's close to an all-time high very, very soon. But we're not, it doesn't look like we're there just yet. I think it's got maybe one more drive here. Actually, even if I go down to the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour time frame's shaping up to potentially be another higher low if it can take out the last 4-hour high, and that imply a move back up to about 10.5. It looks like if that were to happen. So overall, you know, realistically, I'm just looking at something like this, basically looking for a sideways range between here and here for a little bit of short-term, medium-term action. Breakout above here, looking for a test of the prior all-time high, about $15. Probably maybe a slight new all-time high, maybe like $20. But again, I would express caution on this one long term. Of course, below this level right here at about 765 region, I'd be looking for a bit of a catastrophic pullback in that case, and perhaps the party could be over at that point. But I give it the benefit of the doubt right now. Again, market analysis over individualistic analysis. Okay, cool. All right, we're at the bottom of the list now, and it's almost food time for. Oh my God, it's past my food time, motherfucker. All right, last couple ones here. KB says, daily chart, XDN BTC on Bittrex, sleeping giant. I don't know, is it a sleeping giant or is it just sleeping? XDN BTC, digital note. All right, I go in here with trepidation, and I already really don't like what I see. Is it sleeping giant? No, it's not. No, not really, man. My voice can't take it right now. But yeah, this is definitely contender for worst chart of the day. Holy fuck, man! Sleeping giant, sir. I think this one is sleeping and it's not coming back ever. It's 99.25% down, sir. You have won the shittiest chart of the day. We have the shittiest chart of the day, and it will never be going up. It does have a little bit of upside here, though, to be fair. It probably will go up medium term. I'd be looking for a move, whatever's the last weekly high or a lower high. Maybe back up to like 15 Satoshis. That is a 50% move, to be fair. That's actually a fucking 50% move. Oh my God, this thing is going to go up. Motherfucker, this thing, it's going to go up! Piece of shit, man. It actually does have some upside here, to be fair, but goddamn, this one fucking piece of shit coin. Got a little bit carried away, sir. All right. Luke Ross says, good day, Krown. Good day, sir. Where did you draw your fibs to targets? WNXM. WNXM. All right. It's a crypto. I see. All right. There is no fibs. Well, actually, hold on. Let's go to a daily first. Okay, so I do see an obvious range right here. So you see this level right here. You see this trading range right here. That's what I'll base it off of. So we can take a bit of an extension from there. Let's actually get out of the way of the moving average crosses. And let's see. Okay, it looks like we are already having a little bit of a short-term rejection at the 2.272. That's not a big one, but it typically does produce a little bit of short-term pullback. I'd be looking for a continuation to about 116-ish region, 115 to 116, and that potentially could be my high target for this one. Long-term, though, if it starts to take out that area, I'd really start to look towards like 145 region. Fucking hell, man. But you know, one thing before the next, obviously. Okay. Amir Mansour says, hey, Krown, what's up, sir? Thanks for all your hard work. Hey, man, I'm just having fun, brother. Can you please take a look at one USDT, 4-hour and daily? Okay, cool. One USD. God damn it. The chats need to stop. Fuck, we're on the wrong chart, but it's going to be the same thing anyway. Daily, looking like it's popping back up here. Okay, Okay, a little bit under pressure though, to be fair. Okay, you got another obvious range right here in the short term. You got the last low, you got the last high. You can basically look at both of those areas as continuation. So that would be basically above the 200, which is about 15 cents. To the downside, it'd be about 12 and 3/4 cent. If we take out the downside, I'd be looking for another run towards lows at about 9.5 cent. If we take out the high, I'd be looking for a run back around 17.5 cent, right around here, short term. Daily, I don't really have a daily analysis to do on this one because I don't feel confident on the daily on this one. Actually, I actually only feel confident on the short-term timeframes on this one, to be fair. So I can't help you out on the daily, unfortunately. But on the short-term timeframes, that would be the easy trades on this one, in my opinion. And which side do I favor on this one? I'd actually favor the downside on this one. I actually do favor the downside on this one. V-Money, did you do doggy? I'm looking at 4-hour parallel downtrend channel. Man, that's a lot of things to be looking at, sir. I typically don't like channels in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency land. In traditional land and Forex, they're okay. But in Bitcoin land, not as much. No, I'm looking upside here, man. I'm looking upside. I think that this one continues back on to like 39.5, maybe even 40 cents. I still like it for another move, but again, when this thing reverses, it's gonna take no prisoners. But I don't think that we're there just yet. Ty Webb says, IMVE daily plea. Hey, what's up, Fibbo? There he is, Mr. Swanee. Guys, check out Fibbo Swanee's channel. He is all about the fibs over there. He knows a lot more about it than me, and also just a really good guy. EINVE. Okay, here we go. Identitive. Looking good, man, for on the daily at the very least. What about the weekly? Yeah, I do like it. I'd be looking for a bit of a pullback at around 18.25. Long term, though, it is turning the corner here. We do see a change of behavior as far as VARM goes. We do see weekly RSI still strong, TSI still strong, but I'd be looking for a short term pullback from about 18.25, and then play out a little bit of sideways consolidation, then very likely continue over time. I do think that the reversal here is looking good, looking pretty damn good. Alrighty, fellas, I think my voice is completely fucked now, and I am hungry as hell, so I'm going to be signing off. It's been an absolute pleasure. A lot of fun times, a lot of good times. I'll leave you with one more. And with that said, take care. And